Hello and welcome to the first episode of Bovill on Zombies. I'm your host, Bill Bovill, and I have with me my special guest, Ali Brent, from the website Mea Zombie, which I think you should check out after you've watched this. So, how are you going?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you. Look, one thing that's always kind of annoyed me about zombies, and maybe even in zombie movies and whatever else, is, to me, zombies seem pretty slow. Why would I be worried when I can just either run or get in my car or you know, basically get out of the way?
Okay, well, we don't really know if zombies are slow. They might be slow because their muscles are all dried up, because they don't get any water and they have broken bones.
Right.
Or they might be very fast because they can't actually feel that their muscles are tearing and that their bones are broken.
Yeah.
So they might be able to run a lot faster than normal people. But also, people need rest, whereas zombies don't because they are dead.
Oh, okay. So is there a real threat today from zombies? Are we likely to be invaded from zombies? Is a zombie about to come crashing through that door?
Well, possibly not through that door because we are in Australia and we'll probably be one of the last countries hit because we are so isolated. Unless it starts in Australia,
right.
Of course, and then we'll be screwed.
Yes.
But there is a real threat of zombies out there. I mean, the Russians are working on a gun that will use electromagnetic radiation.
Yeah.
And that'll affect the victim's central nervous system.
A zombie gun, if you will.
Yes, a zombie ray gun.
Right.
Really.
But not one to kill zombies, but to create zombies.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. That's wow.
Yeah. Vladimir Putin has confirmed that it will be ready within the next few years.
Right. So Putin has a zombie gun.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I mean, some people have actually suggested that that's an April Fool's Day joke. However, what better way to hide the truth than in plain sight?
Right. No, that's an interesting point.
But there's also diseases out there that already exist, such as mad cow disease, which in humans can change the way you walk, create hallucinations, and just make you very aggressive towards people.
Yep.
And then there's also rabies that is you get by the bite of an animal. So it's transferred via saliva and blood.
Yep. I remember Old Yeller getting bitten by something. I can't remember what, but they had to put him down. A very sad moment in cinema history because they didn't want a zombie Labrador chasing them about.
Exactly, that would be quite a fast animal. And anyways, but I mean that makes people aggressive as well. And scientists also have proven that if you just stop serotonin in the brain being produced, that will cause you to attack people. They've tested it a lot on rats and mice. So,
right.
Yeah.
Look, I did watch a documentary a while ago, and it was about it was a physiological issue with certain people. I think there was, maybe it was serotonin. I can't remember what it was, but basically these people, you know, they were violent criminals, and it was you know, it was actually a physiological problem with them. It was something that was wrong with their brain. Like they could actually test them and say, well, this person would have tendencies towards extreme violence without remorse and all that sort of thing, because there was actually physically something wrong with them. It wasn't, you know, a society to blame or anything like that. But yeah, it was interesting. So this it's almost a bit zombie-like.
Yeah.
As I sort of said, you know, when I think of zombies, I think of them as very slow, and you know, there's always arms out in front of them and dragging a leg and all that sort of thing. I mean, are the movies an accurate depiction of what a zombie would look like and act like?
It is hard to say. As I said, we won't really know until Z-Day, but
right.
they do seem quite accurate. I think the best examples of zombies would be in the movie Zombieland. and the TV series The Walking Dead.
Oh, yes.
Because the zombies are hanging out in cities, they're sort of roaming around on their own, just mindless. They can't really sense where humans are, they just...
Can't they smell them?
They can smell them when they're around, when they're right next to them.
So they're not like sharks, they can't smell blood from 3 kilometres away? Or...
Yeah, they're not like sharks, they're just
right.
mindless zombies that can smell.
Yeah.
But the fact is, humans don't have a particularly good sense of smell,
No.
so zombies wouldn't either.
Thank goodness.
Yes, definitely.
Boy, there's a lot of stinky people out there.
Yeah, and imagine when zombocalypse hits, they're going to be rotting people.
Yeah, that's right. Vulcans they actually have quite a... Vulcans off Star Trek, they actually have a heightened sense of smell.
Yeah, but they're not people either.
No. Well, what's your definition of people?
Good point.
Alright, where did the idea of a zombie come from?
Well, zombies have been around for centuries, the idea of zombies at least, dating back to the Epic of Gilgamesh, where...
Gilgamesh off the Smurfs?
That's Gargamel, but...
Oh, right.
Gilgamesh, where the goddess says that she'll knock down the gates of hell and release the undead to eat the living.
Oh, yes.
And the undead will outnumber the living.
Right.
And overall, we are unaware of him actually feasting on living flesh. But, I mean, Frankenstein's monster was, in fact, a zombie.
Oh, yes, a man-made zombie.
Yes.
Without the use of a zombie ray gun.
Yes. And in 1921, H.P. Lovecraft wrote a story called Herbert West's Reanimator, who is a mad scientist and he attempts to reanimate the living, the dead.
Yep.
But there's disastrous results that they're...
There always is with zombies.
I know, they're mostly mute, they're primitive and extremely violent. And this really opened up how we see modern zombies in this day and age.
Okay. 28 Days Later.
Yes.
I was terrified when I watched that movie. That actually, I found that very scary and heart-wrenching as well. When the dad and the daughter that were living in that building, and he looked up and a bit of blood dropped in his eye, and
that was a very unfortunate moment.
I know. What are the chances?
I do actually on my website have tips of how to survive or stay alive in the zombie.
Right. Okay. So don't look up is one of them.
Well, wear goggles or glasses.
Oh, okay. That's a good idea.
Because it's blood in the eye.
Yeah. So sad.
But that is also one of my favourite movies.
Good soundtrack too. I like the music to that.
Yeah, well, I just liked how the disease spread because it was a disease and it just made people angry. So it was very similar to rabies and mad cow disease.
All right, so I guess we've touched on how to protect yourself against zombies, and you said that there's some information on that on your website. What else would you recommend?
Well, I think we all know that the only way to really kill a zombie is to destroy the brain. So
the zombie's brain.
The zombie's brain.
Right.
Yes. So, I mean, you've really got to smash it to pieces, or stab it, or shoot it in the head, or something like that. So you do really need weapons. I prefer something like a crossbow or even an aluminium baseball bat because they're also they're silent weapons.
Right. That's very violent, isn't it?
Yes. Well.
So if you shoot a zombie, say just with a gun, you shoot him in the chest.
Not going to die.
No effect.
No, his brain has to be destroyed.
So is it just his brain that's keeping the rest of him going? Like,
yeah.
How does his muscles work without a heart pumping blood?
Well, that is the question.
Maybe we can do a whole episode on the physiology of zombies.
Yes, that would be a good idea because it is quite a complicated subject.
So they're not like vampires. They're not interested in your blood. It's more a flesh thing.
Yeah, they want to eat you.
Completely?
If possible. A lot of the time they seem to go into a bit of a frenzy when there is a crowd, and they'll bite one person and move to the next, and that, as opposed to stopping and eating an entire human.
Okay, reminds me of my 2-year-old son.
Yes.
He has some zombie-like characteristics.
Yes.
Are there people in the world today who are actually preparing for, what do you call it, Z-Day? Or is that
Z-Day or Zombocalypse or Zombie Apocalypse, if you want to.
Yep. Do you reckon there's people out there building things and preparing themselves and
Definitely. I mean, even the CDC, the American CDC.
What's the CDC?
The Centre for Disease Control.
Right.
They actually have a page dedicated to the zombie outbreak. So
really?
Yes, they do.
So what happens? Okay, at the zombie apocalypse happens. Zombies are going crazy. They're eating everyone. They've pretty much eaten everyone. They've eaten all the dogs, the cats, the cows. They've even chewed on ants and whatever else. There's nothing left. The only thing that's left is zombies and plants, which is actually a computer game, I believe. I've never played it. I think it's actually called Plants vs. Zombies. We'll review that in another episode. What happens then? Do zombies eat other zombies?
No, they only really want to feast on the flesh of the living, so they wouldn't eat each other because they're all rotting and disgusting.
Oh, right. So it wouldn't be like Highlander, like there can be only one zombie.
No.
Right.
Unfortunately, because that would be a good way to control them, is to build a big fence around them and get them to just eat each other.
Look, I'm interested in pursuing some of these things that we touched on in a little more detail in subsequent episodes. So I think that brings us to the end of this show. But Ali, I just want to thank you for coming along, and I look forward to discussing this in more detail in subsequent episodes.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks very much. And thank you for watching. See you later.